F.8.4 Solving Linear Systems by Substitution, Day 2. Like I was explaining earlier, it's exactly what we just got done doing, correcting from yesterday when we did it with substitution. But now, instead of being able to combine like terms right away, we're going to be having to do the distributive property first. Distributive property. Example 1. Alright, get us going back on how to substitute. The easiest one to substitute is which one? First one or second one? First one. We want to put that in for the x right here. And I highly suggest that you keep your equation in order the way they have it written. Yesterday people were losing variables along the way. They were just adding it wherever. So we're going to put that in for our x. So when you rewrite it, 3, we don't just go 2y like that. That means 3 times, so our parentheses, 3 times a negative 2y plus 4y equals a negative 1. All right, what do I need to do first? Multiply. Multiply what? Exactly. 3 times negative 2 is?
Negative 6.
And it's a negative 6 what?
Y.
We have negative 6y, bring down our plus 4y, equals negative 1. Now we can combine like terms. This is what we started with yesterday. A negative 6y and a positive 4y gives me?
Negative 2y.
Negative 2y equals a negative 1. Final step, multiply or divide?
Divide.
Divide both sides by?
2.
Close. Negative 2, the negative. Divide both sides by negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is a positive 1y. That's what we need to have, a positive variable. What's a negative 1 divided by a negative 2?
Positive 2.
Positive, I'll agree with that. 1 divided by 2, isn't that just 1/2? So let's just leave it as a positive 1/2. Now if you don't want to work with decimals or fractions, you can turn it into a decimal. Alright? So for your ordered pair, like the one we corrected, sometimes it's just easier to put in 1/2. I will accept, is this our x or our y, first of all?
Y.
So first or second?
Second.
So I'll take either 1/2 or 0.5. Because you know how to turn a decimal, a fraction into a decimal, don't you? How? If you were to have a grade, a quiz, and you had 7 out of 10, how would you turn that into a decimal? Top number divided by the bottom number. Numerator divided by the denominator. Alright, so let's go up here. Would you rather go x equals a negative 2 times 1/2 or x equals a negative 2 times 0.5? You pick. Doesn't matter to me. A negative times a positive is a negative, so we have a negative x. And it's a negative 1. Everybody agree? And then, if you were to check it, what would you do?
You would put the x in the x spot and 1/2 the y spot.
Right. You check them in your originals. Even if you want to put them in your calculator and check them, you can do that. Just remember those blue calculators do not do orders of operations. So if I put negative 1 here and 0.5 here, does negative 1 equal negative 2 times 0.5? Yes. If I put a negative 1 here and a 0.5 here, what's 3 times negative 1? 3 times negative 1 is? Negative 3 plus, what's half of 4?
2.
What's negative 3 plus 2? Negative 1. So we know it works. Especially on your tests and quizzes, you should check. Alright. Now, we have, what do you want to substitute in for? Are we going to substitute in for the x, or are we going to substitute in for the y? The y, right here. This has to go in for the y. let's rewrite our equation. A negative 3x plus 3 times x minus 5 equals a negative 15. What do I do first? What property? The distributive property. We need to take this positive 3 and distribute it. What is positive 3 times x?
3x.
Positive 3x. What's a positive 3 times a negative 5? Negative 15. Bring down the other variable, your other term. So now we have negative 3x plus 3x minus 15 equals a negative 15. Something funky look up here? What happens? First of all, combine like terms. They cancel out. Makes 0. So now we have negative 15 equals a negative 15. Variables all canceled out. What do we call this? It's the same on both sides, so it is the same line. So therefore, it is infinitely many solutions. All right, C. Again, we're substituting in for the what? Substituting in for the y again, because y equals x plus 3. So how would I rewrite this? What would I write first? What would I write first?
Negative 2x minus 3
Times the parenthesis.
x plus 3 equals 1.
Equals,
Ours is 1.
yours is 1. Yours is 1. Interesting. Okay, equals 1. This should be a 1. Okay, I'll give you a minute to solve it. See what you come up with. Hold up your ordered pair on your boards when you get an answer. If it's an ordered pair. I don't know, I haven't looked, but if it's not an ordered pair, hold up no solution or infinitely many solutions if it's a special case. Okay, after you did your distributive property, negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And negative 3 times a positive 3 is a negative 9. Some were adding and they were getting 6, or they were thinking they canceled out. They don't. Then you bring down your minus 2x. Combine like terms. What do I need to combine?
Negative 2 and negative 3x.
And a mistake that was made there, what happened? What did some people do? They got a negative 6x. What did they do?
Multiply.
When you combine them, they multiplied. A couple people did. This is combining. They're like terms. We get a negative 5x minus 9. This still equals 1. Now what?
Now you add 9 to both sides.
Negative 5x equals 10. Divide both sides by a negative 5.
Get 2.
X equals close.
Negative 2.
Negative. Because a positive divided by a negative is a negative 2. So in our ordered pair, our x is the first one. Negative 2. Go up here, put negative 2 in here for the x. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1. Done. All right. Now what are we substituting in for on D? We're going to substitute in for this x or this y? We're using this one. It's the x equals, so we're going to substitute it in for this one. Now be careful, this has a negative in front of it. So this is negative times x. Now x is our 2y minus 1. So x, that's a negative times 2y minus 1. Then we do plus 3y equals 6. Don't let that negative right here goof up your whole equation. So make sure you have a negative, and then we still have to do the distributive property because there's an assumed what here? A negative 1. So now distribute and come up with your ordered pair. Give you a couple minutes, hold up your answer on your boards. So to finish up D, when you do your distributive property, a negative 1 times 2y is negative 2y. Negative 1 times a negative 1 is a positive 1. And we bring down our plus 3y equals 6. Combine my like terms. A negative 2 plus 3y is 1y. Bring down our plus 1 equals our 6. Now, minus 1 to both sides. Y equals 5. So I have my 5. Go back up here, put 5 in here. 2 times 5 is 10, minus 1, 9. So our ordered pair, the solution to that is 9 and 5. Now the last one, a lot of you have already held up your answers and you got this correct. We're solving for the y, so we have to put it in here for that y. So I'll bring this down, x minus 2 times, now my y is 1/2 x minus 4. And that still equals 9. When you do the distributive property, negative 2 times 1/2 x. And some people like to just bring this variable down right away so they don't forget it. Bring our x down. Now we need to take this term that's in front of the parentheses times 1/2 x. Well, negative times a positive is a negative. What's 1/2 of 2? A negative 1x. What's a negative 2 times a negative 4? What kind of an 8? Positive 8. That still equals 9. Now combine my like terms. What's 1x? Oops, my goodness. 1x minus 1x. What happens here? They sure do. They cancel each other out, make 0x. Make 0, that cancels out. So now I only have 8 left here. 8 equals 9. Are they the same line? No, because they're not the same numbers. Our variables are gone. What kind of a system is that? These lines are what? What are these lines then if the numbers are different and the variables cancel out? They are what? Parallel. So if they're parallel, they never intersect. Therefore, how many solutions do they have?
No solution.
No solution. All right, homework. Page 9 and 10 in your packet.